Hi, Leo. I hope you're all doing well. I'm so honored to be sitting with you here in your energy. Whoever I'm connecting to today, wherever your Leo placement is, there are big messages coming through. I've been sitting here for a good hour or so, working through these messages, trying to write them down as fast as I was receiving them. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I channeled. I also pulled some oracle cards ahead of time to really sink in and sit with the message, and I'm glad I did. Okay, so we're going to do all of this. I'm going to talk about the messages that I'm receiving intuitively, and then we will get into the tarot. So I'm an intuitive reader. I read the energy, and I use different tools of divination, such as tarot cards, to help me interpret what I'm already feeling, sensing, and knowing. So if that sounds like something that sounds good to you, then stick around. If not, thanks for stopping by. No worries if I'm not your jam. It's all good. Different strokes for different folks, right? Okay, so Leo, let's begin with the numbers. Okay, so I got a few numbers and I believe they could be years, but maybe there'll be something else for you. I got 69, 83, 88, 87, 97, and 74. And then I got the letters K, H, and I. Something about walking a tightrope, but this was the first message that came in, something about a tightrope, but it was kind of a fleeting message. It almost feels like a fear that you're going to have to find your balance in a precarious situation, or there's a distance to travel and you have to be, very cautious of your movements. But it felt like a fear and not an actual thing that was going to unfold. Now, I also heard herring, like a bird, a herring, and I don't know if that means there's a red herring, a warning, something for you to look out for. Then I have some random things, and if you're like, what does this all mean? Doesn't make sense? That's okay. It's for somebody who needs to hear it, or maybe it will make sense over time for you. I heard something about the cosmology of giants. And by the way, if you find links between these messages, let me know in the comments below. Sometimes you guys are like, oh, Andy, that makes sense because it actually means that, and you talked about that. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't even make that connection. So when you guys do that, I'm forever grateful because you build my knowledge bank as you communicate with me and teach me. Okay, something about a duplex. I don't know if this is an apartment. Then I heard when one does not know, one must write. And then I thought it was done, but then I heard slow. So if you're writing something, go slow with it. Okay, if you're trying to figure something out, maybe you're channeling or something like that, scrying through writing, and you need to go slowly with it. There's a difference between stream of consciousness and tapping into the subconscious. Okay, that's for someone. Then there's something about River Rock. I believe that's a place, although I don't know where it is. I don't know what that's about. Maybe there's a river in a rock. A river in a rock. A rock in a river. Interesting. A river in a rock. I feel like there's a portal there. Okay, and then I got this big message, and this was the biggest message that came through. And it came through before I even came in this room. And it was Algonquin. And some of you know I'm in Canada, and we have a beautiful provincial park in Ontario called Algonquin Park. And it's the name Algonquin comes from an Indigenous group of people. Okay, so there might be something about that park in particular, the Canadian provincial park, Algonquin Park. And it's interesting because I actually went there with a Leo, so I thought maybe it was about that, but it's not. It's about the Algonquin people. So as I looked into it and I started to read about the Algonquin people. And what I read, and again, I don't know if this is accurate, so correct me if I'm wrong or do your own research, but I read that the Algonquins were practitioners of Medewin or Medewiwin, I think there's two ways to pronounce it, which essentially means the path of the heart. And so I feel like, Leo, you are a practitioner of the path of the heart, which makes sense because you are the heart, right? That's what you rule. And part of the belief of the Medewin or the path of the heart is that the people who practice that medicine are surrounded by many spirits in the natural world. Okay, and then I heard go right. It's important that you go right, not straight, not left, but right. And so this path of the heart, the Medewin that the Algonquins practiced, is part of a secret indigenous society of medicine people. And these medicine people, a lot of the practice that they do is through drumming, and water drumming in particular. And then that made a lot of sense with the cards that I got. So Spirit wants you to really tune into yourself and to know that you have the power to alchemize a difficult thought process that you might be having right now, or to give yourself medicine from the spirit world to help cleanse you of any kind of volatility that you might experience within yourself or those around you. There also, if you see white shells, this could be a synchronicity for you about this reading, or the need to spend some time in deep thought, meditation, and reflection. There's also a message here about the need to attempt to think beyond the self, and you might already be doing this. And I got this message with this card, consciousness. Spirit is saying that consciousness, or becoming conscious, is not only about thinking of self, but thinking beyond the self. What else came out? And then there was a question. What do you feel about the world? Do you feel the world is a safe place, full of opportunity and people you can make connections with? Or do you feel the world is a dangerous place, unsafe, that there's predators lurking about? That will color your world. That will create your reality. Okay, and so Spirit wants you to really attune into your heart chakra and also into your mind and your mental process, and to clear out any thoughts or negative self-talk that may be creating a kind of sickness or illness, or maybe there's a connection. Somebody else is in your energetic field who is bringing in, I'm feeling this in bringing in some kind of disruptive energy that you do not need to be in. So let me show you the rest of the cards, and then we'll get into the tarot. Okay. I love these kinds of readings, Leo. When we hit this kind of, real space, real talk. Okay. We have fire, which is all about willpower, drive. And we have messenger. And I feel like, these spirits that you're working with that are medicine for you are coming from within. Okay, so how do I say? I feel like the message is you are more in control of the situation than you might first believe. It kind of reminds me of Pisces reading, where we talked about the power of creating your own reality and being able to shift reality. And then I got this card, Reflection, and I looked at what the book had to say. And the book was talking about mental alchemy, that you can alchemize any situation that isn't serving you into something that does serve you and heal you just by the power of your mind. And I'm not talking about positive affirmations or mantras or telling yourself everything's going to be fine, although that can help. I'm talking more about really feeling that power that resides within you, the drumming, right? The beating of your own heart, the rhythm that you have in this particular reality, in this universe, to co-create with the universe what it is that you want to become, who you're becoming, what it is that you want to create. You have something very valuable and precious and beautiful inside of you, Leo. And I feel like you know that, okay? And there's something Spirit's saying, we need to, I just feel like there's something maybe that needs to be cleared out, okay? In order for you to really access that part of yourself. Because we also got this card, Poisons and Toxins, Fear, Negative Thoughts, and Self-Loathing. So this could be you, Leo, or it could be you're engaging and interacting with someone who holds this frequency. And it may be having an effect on you that is not for your highest good. Or perhaps you're trying to help someone and heal someone when we need, I'm hearing, we need to first heal ourselves. And if you're like, oh, I'm totally healed. No, you're not. I'm sorry, Leo. No, you're not. And no, I'm not either. Nobody is really totally healed. We're always in a process of healing. Maybe when we move into another dimension, we will be totally healed. And the goal is not to be totally healed. The goal is to be able to sit in a state of inner peace and oneness with the universe, even while we experience pain, even while we are working through past wounds, to be able to become one with the world around us and our higher self, even while we experience some of those more difficult moments in our life. That's the goal. It's not to eradicate or eliminate the pain, because it will happen regardless of our efforts. It's just how things work down here. Okay? We also got the Sun card. Beautiful. Okay? With consciousness, Leo. I don't know who I'm connecting with today. I have some feelings, though, of some of you who comment regularly. I feel your energy. But if you don't comment regularly, doesn't mean I'm not connecting with you, okay? I am connecting with you if you're still here. You have access, a channel to your higher mind, to your higher state of consciousness, and maybe to the collective unconscious or subconscious, that you could access real wisdom and information, okay? So we have, lastly, this card from a new deck called the Travel Pocket Oracle. And this card says Feast 42. And on it says, if you have a good cellar at home, don't go drinking at the tavern. And what this card is talking about is recognizing all the resources and opportunities and tools that you already have within you. You don't need to go outside of yourself to heal yourself or to begin a healing journey, okay? Or even to I'm getting observe the creation. So I'm getting like a visual of a sweat lodge. And when we go into sweat lodges, our senses are really, they experience something that we don't typically experience. Our senses become overwhelmed, or we begin to like feel like we are no longer confined by our material limitations, so much so that we can go deeper within ourself. So I'm getting some message about, like, it's not about going outside of yourself, it's about going deeper inside of yourself to find the answers. All right, Leo, I know this is a different kind of reading here for you, but let's get into the tarot and see what else Spirit has to say. Somebody commented on one of my readings, can you timestamp when the tarot starts? And if that's something you're thinking, then you're missing the message. You're missing the message. Okay. And this is not just about me and my channel. This is for you too. If you are looking at one particular thing as holding the answer without looking at the broader picture, or the more abstract ways in which messages and energy flows through and to you, you are missing a lot of information. So keep yourself conscious. Keep yourself conscious. Something about water, the element of water is very, very important for you. Fire and water. We'll get two more for Leo, Spirit Guides. Two more for Leo. I'm using the Green Menagerie deck. For Leos or anybody else who's here in this reading, Spirit, what do we need to tell them? What do they need to know? How beautiful is your energy today? Oh, Leo, yes. I mean, it's a difficult card. It's the Ten of Swords. But I'm so glad that it's being couched in this like heartwarming, supportive energy where your guides and spirit and source is telling you how powerful you are. Okay, let's keep going. Ooh, what a positive reading. 9 of Cups at the bottom. Yes, I feel like you are going to be very satisfied with the outcome here of some kind of situation in your life that is bringing you a lot of conflict. Now, I'm not going to lie, you have to go through kind of a journey here, and it begins with a very painful, difficult ending. There could have been even a betrayal here in this energy. It could be self-betrayal or betrayal by another or, you know, a job, anything in your life. I feel like you could feel like you didn't quite see this coming. But of course, our higher selves do see what's coming. Our higher selves are our intuition. And so there's something here, perhaps, and I'm seeing this big red kind of sun or fire shining down on you. It's like your higher mind, your higher consciousness, your intuition is reminding you that all is not lost. What does that mean? Let me get one more on this. What are we talking about here? I'm getting something like nothing is... Oh, Aquarius had that in their title. Maybe you have Aquarius in your chart, but they had everything is gained and nothing is lost. Everything is gained for you and nothing is lost here, Leo. 7 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. You were very patient with the situation. You waited a long time here to reap some kind of rewards. Could be in a connection or something to do with family. A sense of coming together here. For some reason, this didn't quite pan out. Why? Why didn't this pan out? Death and the 6 of Swords. Hold on, give me one more. What's that about? The World and the 4 of Cups. There was another energy involved in this situation that didn't share your soul purpose, the same enthusiasm that you have, your connection here, your big connection to source, your symbolic mind, I'm hearing, your patience. They were more in the 4 of Cups energy, okay? I feel like you offered this workplace, this family, this friend, this lover, this whatever it is for you. You offered this thing, an opportunity here to maybe heal themselves or come into an energetic field that was cleansing, that was full of love and light with the sun. Okay, you were trying to sow, I'm hearing. You're trying to sew something together with this individual or situation. Fabric of reality, right? You're trying to sew together a fabric of reality with this outside energy. And for some reason, their soul was not prepared to go there. Okay, and I feel like for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, you internalize that as a reflection of yourself. Okay, as if that meant something about their reaction or their response or their non-reaction, their inaction, was somehow telling of who you are. Okay, and Spirit is saying, no. Everybody has their own path here. Yeah. We're all walking on the same map, but we all have our own path and sometimes a different destination. Interesting. So this had to end because there was an energy that was not in resonance with you. And I had the Death card and the World card, which is a double big ending here. So not only is it an ending with a transformation and pain with the Ten of Swords as well, but also something comes full circle in this ending. You learn something about yourself that you didn't really know before, or you were on the fence about. And now it's very clear to you, this thing that you were struggling with prior to this loss. So maybe you were trying to find yourself, trying to find your way, trying to find your career path, trying to find your connection to source. And this transformative ending has now brought you to a more conscious awareness of your situation and of the things that you were hoping to understand about yourself, or maybe even the universe, your soul, life in general. And that's good. But holding on to this ending after something's come full circle starts to become a poison and a toxin. Okay? And this is why Spirit is coming in with the Medewan, this whole message about Algonquins and the medicine, the practice of the path of the heart, following the path of the heart as a form of medicine to cleanse out these poisons and toxins that might still be in your system because of some false belief you have about how the result of that failed connection or failed situation is somehow an indicator or a referent point for you to judge yourself against. And it's not, Leo. I'm hearing you're miraculous. Your opportunity is the 9 of Pentacles. Independence, wealth, gain, but knowledge of self. I just came across the word the Pentacle Path in a book that I'm reading, and I haven't actually gotten into what the Pentacle Path is, but I'm reminded of it here. I'm sure 2222. I'm sure I'll learn about it and incorporate it into a reading at some point. But the Pentacle Path, maybe you want to look that up. Now, the pentacle or the pentagram is a symbol that represents the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire, and ether and spirit. And the circle is the bringing together of all of those 5 elements. And so perhaps, just making an educated guess, the Pentacle Path is moving forward in your life, in your soul's journey, balancing all of those different elements. And that is the true path of the heart, is when we come into balance with our mind, our passion, our emotion, and our material reality. And something has gone on in your life, quite difficult, quite painful, that is putting you on the right path, on the Pentacle Path, on the path of the heart. Your strength is the 3 of Wands, is your outlook, your perception, your ability to see the sun come up on the horizon. Maybe you want to watch the sunrise. That could be very healing for you. There's a whole bunch of science too about, those sun rays hitting your eyeballs, and it can do all sorts of positive things for you, like the actual sunrise. So look into that if you're interested. But I feel like Spirit wants you to stand on the edge of your current path, wherever you are on your journey. You feel maybe like you've reached a certain pinnacle, you're at a certain point, you're at the edge of your path. And imagine what you want to unfold before you. Mental alchemy, because you can create that reality now. And this is actually reminding me of Algonquin Park here, because when I went there with the Leo, we portaged we portaged across a few lakes in order to get to our campsite. And our campsite was right on the water. And I have some kind of memory of this person looking out like that. It's interesting. So maybe there's an old memory that you could go back to, a time in your life that you did something you hadn't done before, or you connected with nature in a way that you hadn't done before. Perhaps there's some magic in that memory that you haven't quite located. I feel like that was a pivotal moment in my life for various reasons, but maybe I wasn't able to identify it at the time. Okay, so for you too, have a think about that, because that's your strength, the Three of Wands. And I know this card gets equated with the phrase waiting for your ships to come in, which can be appropriate. But this is not you waiting for your ships to come in. This is you acting as the lighthouse to direct the ships to come in, as the beacon. This is you being the port that the ships come towards. You're not waiting, you're taking action to bring them towards you, to create your own reality. Okay? And there's one coming in the distance. But it's not because you're standing there waiting. It's because you're actively creating. Your challenge is the Eight of Pentacles. Maybe some of you are working too hard, or you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, not getting the results that you desire. There's a lot of pentacle energy here in your reading. Could be about work for many of you, or just the feeling of being secure and stable in your life. Tell me more about the Eight of Pentacles for the challenge for Leos. Queen of Cups, the Emperor, and the Four of Swords. Yeah, many of you are working way too hard on yourself, okay? Like you're really being demanding of yourself. Maybe getting down on yourself. Telling yourself it should be done by now, it's not good enough, or I gotta get started on this and I'm procrastinating, or it's just not going right. You know, all of those thoughts, fear, negative thoughts, and self-loathing are poisons and toxins that need to be cleansed out, okay? Shed a light on your own fear space. Find out what's going on there. What's that voice inside of you telling you that isn't true? And then say thank you for alerting me to something that I still need to heal within me. You have done your part, and you, negative self-talk, may leave now. All right? Make sure to thank that voice, though. You know, I think a lot of the times when people talk about getting rid of negative self-talk, it's like they speak negatively about negative self-talk. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you get down on yourself, like, oh, I'm being so hard on myself. I'm so stupid for being so hard on myself. No. Say, okay, thank you for berating me, self, shadow space, because now you've brought to my attention something that I need to work on. Or now you've made me realize that those thoughts are just fears. They're not truths. So thank yourself for those things. Don't be so hard here on yourself. Yeah, I feel like you're being really hard on yourself. And you could be associating with someone who's being hard on you. Okay? And that person is kind of, how do I say that? Well, rather than finding that negative voice within, it's like it's coming from without. You know, it's coming from someone outside of you. I don't know how to say that properly. But really, it's just yourself manifested outwardly. You know, that boss who's an asshole and they're treating you in this way, it's a reflection point of something within, okay? So this is where the mental alchemy comes in. When we adjust that within, when we alchemize that negative self-talk or that poison and toxin within, then whatever that other person's doing might still happen, but we don't take it the same way. The energy doesn't hook in like it used to. It's like, okay, you know, there's a difference that is felt, okay, when we do our own inner work, even when we still have to deal with those assholes out in the world. Ace of Pentacles for your advice. There is something that you're working on here that isn't really going so well, and I feel like Spirit is saying you could pivot. Okay, you could pivot. Maybe this is a small tweak. Maybe this is a huge shift. But the way in which you'll know what to do next, something new to take up or to take on, a new approach or a new job or a new love situation or something, like you just want to bring something new into your life, will come through like this deep connection and meditation with yourself. Like, I feel like you could even go into a dark room, okay? Maybe turn the heat up and sweat it out a little bit, okay? And see what comes up for you. What thoughts? No phones, no screens, just you and yourself. And see what comes up to the surface. And that sweating out, I was getting something about saliva too. That sweating out is like that water in the drum, right? That will help tell you or guide you where to go next. So maybe some of you want to do that literally. Now, of course, do it safely. This is a general tarot reading. You decide what you need to do here. But I feel like some kind of sensory deprivation, even if it's for a couple minutes, might be helpful. Just sitting in a dark room for a couple minutes to see what comes up might be helpful. Okay? Or maybe you want to just dull one of your senses that you often rely on to navigate the world, whatever that is for you. The Fool as the outcome. Beautiful, Leo. You do take up a new path here. And so much confidence. And look, here's that red sun that we see peeking through here. This beautiful light, this illuminated consciousness. I'm hearing riding on the wind, and that card kind of flipped really cool. Riding on the wind. There's something that gets cleared up in your mind that has been bothering you for some time here. Okay, there's a new path ahead. Let's see if we can get a little bit more into this new path. What is this? 6 of Wands. Victory, public acknowledgement, and celebration. You come out of this sensory deprivation. Maybe that's a metaphor, but you come out of this place that you're in now with your head held high, feeling confident, knowing your power, trusting your connection with Source, and honoring the difficulties of the past as bricks that helped lay the foundation for the future. All right, Leo, I'm going to go into an extended, and in the extended, we go a layer deeper into this message. The link for that is in the description box below. But if you can't come along to that, or you don't want to for whatever reason, then trust that you received all the guidance that you need. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.